Have to do the newspapers. Good morning, wherever you find yourself, and also to Charles in Kruma. You build magic toilets with that great concept you have, and also to your wife as well. And I hope that all of you are doing well.
Did you say magic toilets?
Yeah, magic toilets.
Like you don't have to flash; it will flash itself.
You flash it, but it's a concept that use biodegradable.
When you said magic, I was imagining. I was imagining.
You know, we don't have central seawalls these days.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
okay.
And I forgot.
Which one? The register.
No,
I want to put your name.
I wanted to say hello to Salif.
No.
But not today. Salif will come back.
I
wanted to say good morning
to you. Would you volunteer to have your name in that register if Ghana was to open a register?
They can
but you know what? My point is, what difference would it make? You have a ring on, right? Everybody knows. I mean, this is the sign that you're married. Yeah. There are people who would deliberately go to the register and go and look for married men and chase them. Yeah. So, but why are they not adding a register for women too? Like, what's the?
I think it's because women generally would. Even if it will happen, it will be under some cloth carpet, you know. You won't say physically like the way a married man will flaunt and never have any shame about it. Yes.
I think that register will have to be decentralized. It has to be globalized as well, because we've had issues of sometimes somebody's married here in Ghana, they leave to maybe America and go and marry somebody else, or they come from America or elsewhere in Europe and then come back to Ghana and come and marry. You know, so it has to be something that, you know, when you click, it makes sense actually if you think about it deeply.
Yeah, can you imagine?
But it shouldn't be restricted to Tanzania.
Yeah, it should come to Ghana. So the names around here will be Roland Walker.
It has to be everywhere in the world. It has to be everywhere in the world.
If they publish by surname, my surname starts with W. So I'll be down there. By the time you look, you'll be tired. So,
really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You know, MFR Powell said something on Newsnight yesterday that people register lands. People have registered their lands. Others are stealing the lands.
Yeah, there's still multiple sale, right? So just think about it. You know, we want to make sure the right things are done. So you go to the Lands Commission, you go and register the land, it goes through all the processes, but that same land is sold multiple times.
Yeah.
So just think about it.
So go ahead and register yourselves, guys. We'll still get you if we want to. Let's settle down for the newspapers. I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Oh, let's start with the Finder newspaper. I am too traditional. So here we go with the Finder, front page of the Finder today. 4,750 jobs created,
Charlie,
100 million.
Well, your dress looks nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, typical like every guy. You've watched me. I didn't say it like you had to what? You had to convince yourself, or what?
So that's
let's do the Finder newspaper.
You're like Prophet Kobe this morning. Can we have the mass up of gentlemen talking? You know. Coming to protest against what Mama will say.
There you go again. I say you're behaving like a typical everyman.
So, please, good morning. There's a protest.
Let's do the newspapers.
This is homophobic, tribalistic. Okay, can we go on?
Find the newspaper, front page. Patrick, 4,750 jobs created, 100 million Ghana cedis spent on funding businesses and capacity building, a revelation made by Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, Minister for Business Development. NDC's comeback dream will be rejected by Ghanaians. That's according to the president. GRA launches mobile app to check fake tax stamps. Upper East residents endorse cylinder circulation module. Bolga Boku Road to be completed before 2020 elections. And when you hear the promises coming back in, then you know that we've got an election year coming up pretty shortly. In the meantime, we're tracking the president's promises way before the 2016 general elections here on Joy News and on Joy FM, really. It's called Dear Nanado. It will start on television today. So, you know, if you have any promises that if you remember any promises from the president, you want us to track it, you can get in touch with us. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper, front page of the Graphic. Criticism of free senior high school initiative. Results will prove policy right. President expresses confidence and, yeah. you can feel the kind of relationship, the friendship that exists between the education minister and the president on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. He speaks so well of him each time.
Yes, that's good.
DVLA backs 226,000 Ghana cedis from fake DV plate fines. Also, missing girls' families can witness DNA tests, according to the acting IGP. And the latest on this, coming from a conversation between ACP David Eklu and Israel Lai on Prime yesterday, is that they're beginning that DNA test today. They're beginning that DNA test today.
When did we go and uncover the bones? 2 weeks ago.
It's a process, eh? It's a process.
Yeah,
it's not an event.
A lot of time, eh? I never knew that. 2 weeks before you get samples.
Center spread of the Daily Graphic. Sign agreement with UK to guarantee trade after Brexit. Some private companies operating in the country have appealed to the government to, as a matter of urgency, sign a bilateral trade agreement with the United Kingdom to guarantee existing trade relations between the two countries in an event of Brexit.
Why? Why would that happen?
In an event of Brexit, Brexit is happening.
Yeah,
if you look at the changes,
but why will
it is happening?
I think the foremost focus will be the other section of the European Union, which they don't.
That reminds me, you know, the new administration, they're trying to make changes that the EU says, you know, this is not going to happen.
You called your shots, so try and walk your talk.
Okay, still in the center spread of the paper, government to support 3,000 young entrepreneurs under presidential business programs. Back page of the paper, government secures funding for Bolga Boko, Pumakom Road. Roland, did I say it right? Pumakom. Okay. CapFab renovates chest diseases unit at Kolebu. And that's CapFam Ghana Limited. It's an electrical retail company. They've renovated the chest diseases unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The renovation works involved patching of cracked walls, repainting of the entire unit, and fixing of louver blades, among others. The company, in addition, donated a 50-inch television to the units. Well, we say thank you to them for doing this. Kolebu is for all of us. Let's do the Ghanaian Times newspaper front page of the Times. Big boost for cocoa sector as World Bank invests $300 million in industry. IGP visit families of kidnapped girls in Takrady. Government to create 120,000 jobs in 5 years. Government releases 1.491 million Ghana cedis for Fuase shooting victims. Also, police investigate death of woman at 37 military barracks. The woman was found dead at the barracks in Accra. Let's see where the story continues. She's believed to be between 30 and 35. She was found naked lying beside a goat pen. The PRO of the Accra Regional Police Command, Deputy Superintendent of Police Efia Tenge, confirmed the story to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday. The police received a complaint by some military officers that on same day at about 6:20 a.m. the dead body was found naked and lying in a prone position beside a goat pen at the military barracks. So investigations ongoing with this particular matter. If you go to page 3-4, in court for stealing dried cocoa beans is another crime story in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Back page of the paper, government to create 120,000 jobs in 5 years. The full story is on the back page of the paper. And Labour Department to be revamped is also another story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Roland?
All right, so let's do the Daily Dispatch first. The front page of the Daily Dispatch has a story. Agreement in the power sector, a take or pay agreement is a two-way street. And this article quite interesting. A part two. There's a part one and a part two. You have to read coming from a former GNPC Chief Executive Alex Mould. The story behind Dangote is also on page 10 of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. We also have MPA takes CRM education to Upper East region as an attached picture of the Chief Executive for the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampoli. How will MPP suffer from its infighting in the central region? Just take a read. Page 2 of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. The Daily Statesman has a story. Power fraud confirmed. PDS threatens lawsuit against Dunwell, Joe Australia. Al-Kut in insurance fiasco. And we know about the ongoing concerns about our concession with PDS as they took over ECG. And we know what the current interim measure is for about 30 days or a month. Napo, it's right to spend oil money on education. It's up there on the front page of the Daily Statesman. It's right to spend oil money on education. And free SHS is here to stay. Akufo-Addo calls NDC's bluff. On the back page, Frank Lampard, Chelsea boss has one hell of a job on. That's according to Chris Sutton. Neymar, Barcelona officials traveling to France for talks over PSG forwards return. And he, was sold openly. £200 million was sold to PSG. Now they want to buy him back. Yeah, Charlie. Barcelona. Now let's look at the Ghanaian Observer. It has on the front page, Mahama will collapse free SHS. Akufo-Addo. And we know that the president is touring up north. The story is on page 9 and 10. 4,750 jobs, meanwhile, created under capacity building for young entrepreneurs. NLA champions Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid vision and Bolga-Boku Road to be completed before 2020 elections. President Akufo-Addo assures. You go down, you find the story there. On the side, we have spending oil cash on free SHS a better investment, according to NAPO. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is the Minister of Education. The back page full of sports stories. Let's go to the new publisher. The new publisher says NDC will stop free SHS. Nanado wants. Tardy kidnappers into human blood rituals, and we know that there have been publications about conversations that may have taken place on WhatsApp, allegedly involving the accused and his accomplices, widely circulated, not only on social media but also in the mainstream media. Apalu campaigns for Napo. MPP boys sharing auction cars like granuts. Rebo Boating. The Ghanaian publisher, though, says Akufo-Addo jabs NDC. They should know they are not coming back to power. Government creates 4,750 jobs under capacity building for young entrepreneurs and spending oil money revenues on free SHS a better investment. The story is on the side. And this story, again, is attributed to the education minister. Let's go to the last paper. Have you done the Daily Guide?
No, please.
We have the Gold Street business. The Gold Street business has tough war between GRA, GPHA at port. Government capital expenditure slashed yet again. And GRA introduces tax stamp authenticator to tackle fraud. As 2 cases already in court. All on the front page of the Gold Street business newspaper. Okay. Please do the Daily Guide.
All right, last paper, we'll do the Daily Guide newspaper, and they'll probably go to myjawline.com. Front page of the Daily Guide, Nana jabs Mahama, where are the projects? IGP storms Takrady over missing girls. Ministry creates 4,750 jobs, 1.5 million Ghana cedis for Fosse victims. So headlines, very familiar, as it appears in some of the other newspapers. In the center spread of the paper, though, the news one, Empress Gifty abandons music to cook on TV is a question. Big Brother Naija housemate under investigation by British police. This is also another one that's appearing to be very funny. A Metropolitan Police officer is currently appearing on the Nigerian version of Big Brother, despite having been refused permission to do so by her bosses. She was pictured alongside the Mets celebrated 100 years of women in the force last November. She's one of the stars of the African reality TV show Big Brother Naija.
Okay, so we have to do myjoyonline.com, and quickly when you get onto the page, we have stories dominating. There's an opinion by former minister and journalist Elizabeth Ohene writing, "The power of an apostrophe." I'm sure it's related to all the mixed reactions to us having a Founders Day as to a Founders Day. Have I said anything right? As to a Founders Day or Founders Day. All sounds the same, right? Nigeria's Buhari moves to block food imports. The next story featured on the homepage, myjoyonline.com. Dumelo Sosu recommend energizing NDC grassroots for 2020 victory. And then they need to work hard then because the president is already on the road. BDCs fight dirty to the detriment of future fuel supply, but regulator ignores. Fight dirty to the detriment. Okay. My fiancé seemed perfect, but he wanted to control me. Yeah. Please read this. No man should control a woman. Women's rights.
This is not women's rights.
Oh, Mama,
this is
just reading headline.
Yeah, but you said women's rights. What has this got to do with women's rights? You hate it if I try to even give hints of control.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't finished myjoyonline.com.
I'm just saying that no human being should try and control the other human being. Yeah. It's a human story, not a women's story.
I agree with you, Mama. And it's not just incidental.
Please go ahead and do the headline.
So we're going ahead to look at the stories on the homepage, myjoyonline.com, women's rights. Let's move away from the subject. Government should have used that than demonizing GMC, a grave staff. It's related to the Ghana Manganese Company. Salas Tete appointed Sierra Leone head coach. That's a good one. Coach Bobo, famously known in Ghana for guiding our satellites in 2009, which was captained by Andrew Dede Morgan Ayew.
We can never forget that.
It's already 10 years, Charlie. How time flies. Joy Sports to start 2019-2020 commentary season with UEFA Super Cup. And it's on
today. This is the first time that two sides from the Premier League will be clashing it out. Yeah. But also for us, this is where you should bring the woman power thing. It's the first time that a female will be doing this. And this is a major European game. So, and this is the first time that there will be a woman referee. The game will be surrounded by women, by the way.
Women.
So,
AM on a Wednesday.
But this referee is actually not new to games like this. Wow. Remember the women's final, Netherlands and the USA. She was the one the same person at the center of that. She's 35. We're super excited about this Super Cup today. But to think that Chelsea is facing Liverpool is another thing. Yeah. And for the first time after the 2005,
is Lampard still coaching us to that game?
Are you asking me or you're telling me? You better get ready because you know what, Liverpool is the defending champions of the
UEFA Champions League. And we are the defending champions.
Yes.
Of
bring it on. The UEFA
of the Europa League.
Europa League. Okay, so bring it on. They met us. What did we win last season? We didn't. What did we win? We won nothing, but we scored you guys 4-0. So you're meeting a champion side. We'll see how that goes.
And then at the center.
Okay, the countdown begins.
And around the park will be women refereeing.
That is why,
for me, I know that Chelsea, we're not going to have a good game because women are at the center. They are going to be biased. I mean, that's why. That's the only reason why. It's not because of our team.
The countdown begins with Benedict Owusu right after this.